Wyatt Africa. Ring the bell. Sorry, flashbacks. That's another program. Hey, folks, welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. It's Night Owls. It is night. A lot of people wondering where I was at last night. Listen, I was drugged and drug away by my host last night and not allowed to use the internet. I tried over and over again. They wouldn't let me get to it. They wouldn't give me the password, and my 5G wasn't connecting anyway. No, but seriously, took a night off last night, caught my breath, relaxed a little bit, which was nice. Listened to some music. Most of it was pretty good. There was some weird stuff going on. I don't know what that was all about. But anyway, enjoyed last night. And then today did some videos out in Hermanus. Like a couple people asking where I'm at, if I'm in South Africa. And I'm like, yes, I am in South Africa. That wasn't Hermanus, California, in case anybody's curious. Just to let you know. Was not Hermanus, California. Anyway, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on here in, oh boy, in South Africa. And how's everybody doing there? Hey, Stefan. How you doing there? Oh my goodness, YouTube is still coming after me for music that is not copyrighted. By the way, they keep hitting me for copyright for this one piece of music that I've been using. It's public domain music. I sent them an appeal. They never responded, but I went back like 2 weeks later and it had been removed, the copyright claim. But they keep claiming it on one video after another. And I used that music for the past 4 years. This is going to be a long process. I don't even bother appealing it because it just takes too much time for the appeal. But yeah, anyway, so for those who watched my video, we got 1,500, 1,200, and 2,200 views earlier today. Not great, but not horrible. Thanks for that. I do appreciate it. Let me just get over here real quick. I got to make sure I put this on mute so you don't get the reverb and the echo. I'm trying to see the chat a little bit larger so I can take these spectacles off. Right. Yeah, so we're nearly a month into this, folks. I'll say hello to everybody here in just a second. It's taken an interminable amount of time for this thing to load. I didn't want to keep you waiting too long. I was busy. By the way, packing my bags and doing okay so far. I don't know. I'd have to drop a few things in the false bay here before I leave because I'm overweight, but looking pretty good. There we go. Finally, it's there. All right. So Dylan Convert's here. Dylan, how's it going? Vilma Erasmus, George Steinberg is in from Heckport. Once again, how can it be Heckport, but it's Wope? I mean, come on, guys. What's with this Afrikaans? You guys got to work on this. I mean, it's as bad as English. It's not even phonetic. Come on. All right, so Clive Street, Brian Lawrenson, Ants is back. Ants, how you doing, buddy? Are you well? Sorry we missed you in PE. You were a notable absence from the meet and greet. Val Cooper's here. Vanna Kruger in 5 minutes. Oh, you won't miss too much, Vanna, because I started a couple minutes late, so if you're here. Prince Sebakulu, welcome. Good to see you again. Emil Therrett, hey. Arctic is here. Hey, Arctic. Dan says, away. You missed the first part. Amanda. You got to get it right, guys. Come on. Charles Van Onselen, the voice of reason, with us again tonight. Arctic is here. Arctic, what are you drinking tonight? Jack Daniels? Are you behind the stick? He's probably flying again tonight. So, anyway. All right. But we got some trolling going on, I think, on there. So if the mods are here, keep an eye on that. And Sandy. Hey, Sandy. So tomorrow morning, Sandy, my plan, if things go well, is I'm going to read one of your books. I have to read it tonight before I go to bed. I'm going to read one of your books before I leave, and I don't know that I'll get uploaded before I leave. It just depends how much time I have because I got an interview to do tomorrow. Not an interview, but my show with Megaphone Sports tomorrow about the Springboks and the Bulls game. So I don't know if I have time, but I will record it. Tomorrow's the plan, and then if I get it done, I'll get it posted. Vilma's watching a movie. Really? Okay. Paulie, that is the brains behind the operation, or so says Paulie. He's been claiming that false mantle for a while now. But Paulie and I did link up the other night, and we had a good meal. Stefan is there. Charles, don't lie, you got drunk on wine and cheese. Well, okay, Arctic, I will fully confess that they did try to liquor me up with wine. That's for, they didn't offer me any cheese. I mean, that's just barbaric, right? I mean, to give you wine, not to give you cheese, right? Just come on, man. That's just not right. Anyway, how you doing, Vilma? And you're welcome, Sandy. But thank me after I get it recorded, not before I do. Otherwise, I'll feel guilty. What is it? 18 hours, bottle of throttle. Yep. All right. So I think I'm caught. There's Sean Folkshank is here. Well, at least that's how you say it, German Folkshank. The Afrikaners, they have a different pronunciation for it, and I'm not very fond of it. So I don't think I'll say Sean Folkshank. Oh, did I just say that out loud? Sorry. Anyway, Giuseppe Garibaldi's here. Wow, man, we've got the Monaco royal family joining us tonight. The Garibaldi family in from Monte Carlo. Thank you very much. By the way, I love your casino. It's pretty nice. Beautiful spot there, Monte Carlo. I did go back there again last year for the World Cup in France. And anyway, let me get to some of the stuff here. Okay, so we did 3 videos earlier today, folks, and talking about the potential for the cabinet, the coalition, and I had kind of an epiphany. And maybe it's not much of an epiphany. You might not be impressed by it. But I was doing the math because a few people kind of talked about it. I've mentioned a few times. What happens if the government of national unity gets enough votes that they don't need the DA's 87? Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I did the math, and they're currently at 287. So you need 201 for an outright majority. Well, if Musi Maimani and Bosa, Bill 1 South Africa, come to the government of national unity, which has 10 parties and becomes a party of 11 out of 18 in Parliament, well, suddenly the DA is not so important. I mean, I still think they're important in this coalition, and it's the smart move, but who knows? I'm seeing news reports now on South African media that the ANC is not happy about the outrageous demands for cabinet positions that are being made. Well, who else would be making them? Maybe some of the smaller parties are making demands, but I'm pretty sure they're talking about the Democratic Alliance without revealing it. Yeah, so, man, there's a lot going on here. And the cabinet is yet to be announced, folks. Today is the 24th of May. June, when time slides. The 24th of June, and it was the 29th of May when the election took place. It's a full 26 days ago, almost 30 days, and there's no cabinet. This is something that keeps a lot of people, I don't think it's keep people up at night unless they're hoping for a cabinet position, but a lot of people are scratching their heads going, when are we going to have a cabinet? Because you don't really have a government unless you know who's running your ministries. So Sedgefield's here. Welcome, Sedgefield. How you doing? And Dylan says, I hope you're well. Yeah, I'm doing fine, Dylan. Thanks. Jeanette is here. Good evening to you. All right, so let me just go through some of the headlines about South Africa very quickly. So whoever is appointed to cabinet positions must respect workers' rights, says the Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU. Yeah, and I think it's kind of written into the law, so I'm not sure what they're really getting at here. COSATU is grasping at straws, trying to remain relevant in South Africa. The South African Communist Party and COSATU are probably not that influential at this stage, and much to their chagrin. Of course, when you shed 300,000 industrial jobs in manufacturing in a decade, you're bound to lose some support for the union because those people don't have jobs anymore. So COSATU is looking for relevance. Well, look at this, the Independent Aligned. Of course, this is the same publication that says it's been threatened for its story about a certain DA member of parliament from a certain town somewhere in the Eastern Cape, not to be identified, Ronaldo hosts. Anyway, but it says the government of national unity is on the rocks. The ANC hits back at Zilla's leaked letter demanding cabinet positions as outrageous and outlandish. Well, boy, somebody's got a nerve struck there. So, let's take a look at this story in the Independent Aligned. So, I'm going to read directly from it, and then we'll comment on it. Following the DA's intentions of getting 12 cabinet posts, this number keeps increasing. First we heard it was 5 and then 6. I saw in a story earlier today, they want 11. Now it's 12. You know what? The hell with it. The DA wants all 23 cabinet positions, or 33, whatever it is. Does anybody actually know, other than Fikile Mabulula and Helen Zille? I don't. You don't. It's all speculation. Anyway, on Sunday, the DA federal chair, Helen Zille, wrote a letter. It's a DA chairperson. It's not their chairman, wrote a letter that the IOL has seen. Now, why is the IOL seeing the letter that was internal to the formation of the government? To me, that's kind of inappropriate. I don't think the media should be seeing these letters. Although, hey, look, if the IOL, if you want to share it with me as an independent media, I'll be happy to report on it. But media shouldn't be seeing these letters until these governments are formed. I said that the letter was to Secretary General Fikile Mabulula informing him that the DA wanted 12 ministerial positions in the government of national unity. Now, here's an important distinction, and we'll see if the story tells us this. 12 ministerial positions doesn't mean the cabinet minister. It can mean the deputy minister. So let's see what they're going to say. Said that this also included the DA approving the appointments of director generals in all departments under its control in what many on social media said was akin to cater deployment. How is that akin to cater deployment? It's not cater deployment. They simply want to vet. Well, that's probably not the best term right now, vetting people in the government for the DA. But anyway, sorry. But no, that's not cater deployment. That's ludicrous. The directors general in departments reporting Democratic Alliance ministers are selected by panels consisting of Democratic Alliance members and submitted to the president for his approval, and that such approval cannot reasonably be withheld. Now, this is exactly the opposite of cater deployment. The DA wants to ensure that the ANC can't deploy caters into a ministry it's responsible for, undermining the minister. That's not cater deployment. That's anti-cater deployment. You notice how the media just flipped that around and try to turn the story. Anyway. Yeah, the ZA said they prefer the following portfolios: economic sectors, investment, employment, infrastructure development, social protection, community and human development, governance, state capacity and institutional development, justice, crime prevention, security, international cooperation, trade, and security. Well, that sounds like a pretty big Christmas list, a lot of shopping list for the DA. I don't think they're going to get quite that much. Anyway, for the positions, the Democratic Alliance wants a DP who is designated as leader of government, business, and participates fully in the policy. Anyway, this is the point here is that it's not 12 ministers, so we'll see what the ANC comes up with. The ANC, which has been in power since 1994, had to go to the government of national unity, or at least a coalition of some sort, because they only got 40.2% of the vote. So far, 10 parties are in this government of national unity, which is not a government of national unity, it's a coalition in disguise. But that includes the African National Congress, the Democratic Alliance, the Inkatha Freedom Party, the Freedom Front Plus, United Democratic Movement, Rise Mzansi, Al Jamaa, there's a shocker, the Pan-African Congress, another shocker, the Good Party from Tani Pat, and have all become part of this. So now that represents 71.75% of the seats in Parliament, 287 of the 400 seats, an overwhelming majority, more than enough to alter the Constitution if every one of their party members voted for something for the Constitution, but that's highly unlikely. Yeah, so we'll see what happens from here. Anyway, that's where we're at. Let me go back to the chat and see what's come up while I've been busy reading that story and analyzing it. Right. Ant says he's well. That's good to hear. And Giuseppe says good evening. Okay. What is Sedgefield? Sedgefield, I always have a hard time following Sedgefield. It says, a squirrel getting squashed behind the Good. I'm not going to read the rest, Sedgefield. Gotcha. Vanna Duplessis. I think I've seen you recently, Vanna. I don't know. Pretty close to where I'm sitting right now, I think it was. All right. What else we got there? Okay. Sean Mandich. What is... Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I missed some of these comments earlier. See, folks, you don't catch all of them when you're trying to address the audience, but I apologize. Keith Alderson is in from Coventry, the place that, because of the Enigma machine, they allowed the Nazis to bomb the living daylights out of. It's a shame. I've been to the cathedral there. There's just a shell of what's left. Sandy says, suspect relying on 10 smaller parties is going to be a lot harder than trust. Yeah, no, I think the coalition should have stopped at the ANC, DA, and IFP. That should have been done and dusted. Anything beyond that becomes unreasonable and hard to manage. Brad LaRue, welcome to you. I'm well, and yourself. Pierre Orban, the cousin of the Prime Minister of Hungary. What happened? But greetings again. No, greetings to you. KG says ANC already occupied key positions like President, Parliament Speaker. So why is it too difficult to give DA other key missions? Well, KG, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, the ANC is reluctantly going into a government of national unity. This is something they don't want to do, but they have no choice. That's the first reason. Number two, they're accustomed to being the big dog on the block. They have been since 1994. They've never not been a majority government, so this is a new experience for them. And it's rather precipitous fall. I mean, think about it. In the last election, 2019, the ANC got 57% of the vote, and more people voted. So they had 10.4 million votes. This time, they got just 40.2 of the 16.4 million who bothered to rock up and vote in this election, which wasn't that many. But they lost 4 million votes. 4 million votes. And they didn't lose them to MK. People need to stop that. That's not where the votes went. A lot of people just don't vote for the ANC anymore because they don't trust them anymore. And gee, I wonder why that might be. Hey, Trudy, how's it going? If the ANC kicks DA, can't DA then take back Gauteng? How would they take back Gauteng? They're going to need help. They only have 27% of the vote. That's just over a quarter. The ANC has 34% of the vote in Gauteng. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I misunderstood your point, but if you explain where you're going with that. Keith Alden says UK 20 dead after battery processing plant explodes and burns. Oh, well, what is this for EVs or just batteries in general? That's pretty scary. Thanks for sharing that. Thoughts and prayers of those who lost their family members. Why is Ronaldo so quiet, Nick Stevens? Well, because Ronaldo is under investigation for what supposedly happened, and he's not allowed to use social media. I mean, that's. Can you imagine if Ronaldo was streaming tonight? There'd be like 350,000 trolls on there, just slamming it. And every time he says something, he puts himself in jeopardy. So until the investigation is over, I doubt you're going to see Ronaldo online, and that's just prudent decision making. What's this woke wide world? What's the importance of deputy president? That's a good question. South Africa deputy president really doesn't do jack squat. So, I mean, it's not that important. I mean, if the president's incapacitated, I mean, look, in my view, Cyril's been incapacitated from a governance perspective since the day he took over. But hey, I'm kind of biased. I expect good governance and leaders, not, people who sit on the can all day. But anyway, the deputy president does have a few minor roles, and if the president's out of the country or something like that, they can't act. So, Yeah, but I wouldn't want to be deputy president. So it's certainly not second deputy, which doesn't exist in the current law. That was before the current Constitution, which was promulgated in 1996. It was ratified in 97, if I remember correctly. I stand on correction for that. Actually, I'm sitting, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. Ernst, good evening to you. I'm Heinz. It wasn't silenced by the media. Heinz, he's under Haynes. He's under investigation, so you don't fuel the fire, and going to social media would simply fuel the fire. So he has to sit back and take abuse from racists, and sit back and take abuse from people who don't bother to pay attention to what the situation is. And that's unfortunately that's the way the cookie crumbles. And so welcome to 109 people here for Night Owls. Be sure to hit the like button, 46 likes. Look, I folks, the price of petrol keeps going up. The price of groceries keeps going up. And, Energate is getting even pricier. I mean, it's all right, but, And my host, unfortunately, for them, wine keeps going up. So I'm sure that that's tragic news for them. They seem to favor wine. But anyway, here's the deal. So these prices keep going up. I lost my point. I got all excited about that Energate. What the hell happened there? Senior moment, folks. Sorry, I'll come back from that in an hour or two. He holds the thingamajig for the president. Is that what he does? Thank you for sharing that thingamajig. Ludwig Schur, good evening to you. John Hutchins in from Arizona. John, what's going on out there? You got any of those javelinas running around in your neighborhood? Chewed up old batteries. Okay, they grind them down to process them. Oh my goodness, sorry to hear that. Yeah, but thoughts and prayers to those who get injured or lost their lives. Really good football player. Okay. Wayne Fundenbeck. How's Mr. Hollis? He's coping. I mean, that's what I was talking about originally, was Ronaldo. But he's coping. It's an unfortunate situation. We can't sit here and say that it was good judgment on his part to make a video that included that, regardless of the content or the context he put it in. Look, this is a South African context, folks, and there's a double standard here, and you can't say those things even when you explain that you don't mean these things. You're not directing them at anybody. You're just saying it to make a point that if this was said, and the irony is here is it proved his point. 16 years later, it proves his point exactly. But why does any of this matter? We all pay tax, even when you're not taxing your salary, you're taxing. Yeah, PK, we got it, dude. We got it. You love to tell everybody about the value-added tax. We're aware of that. It's not just value-added tax, though. It's not just that. You're also taxed on petrol, paraffin. You use that stuff. You pay taxes on all that. So, look, I mean, Uncle Sugar and I want to say Tiny Pat, but that's not fair to Patricia DeLille, but I almost fell into that. But Uncle Sugar, I don't know what we call him here, Jens or whatever, call him Jens for South Africa, a nickname for the government. They'll get their money. They'll find a way to take it from you. Yeah, Charles says under investigation. Yep. So that the politicians live in luxury always suffer their bad decisions. Well, that's true. Looks a bit like the USA and the UK, the way politicians just make new rules, making little effort to do as the Constitution requires. Jean Reynolds here. South Africa in the Cricket World Cup semifinals, and the USA crashed out hard against England. Well, okay, I suppose that's true, but I mean, we're not exactly a cricket nation. I mean, look at our team. It's full of South Asians and Afrikaners. I mean, I think we kind of cheated there. We bring all these South Asians and Afrikaners on our side, and maybe we'll do it. So I think we did better than expected in cricket. So I said, do you think ANC worries about DA digging through old files, or would DA already have been privy to everything? They would not have been privy to everything, but it's not just the DA that has access to old files, folks. It's not just the DA. Remember, the ANC has imploded. The ANC has seen members defect and also seen members work against its interest since 2021. There's a reason why the government of Cyril Ramaphosa was so slow to respond to the insurrection that took place in 2021. It's not because they're incompetent. Well, okay, they are, but that's not why. There were active members of the African National Congress who sit in the security cluster who intentionally allowed those events to unfold. And Cyril's busy counting his Hamburglar dollars, so he wasn't too concerned about it. Remember, let's roll back the clock here. June 29th, 2021. Constitutional Court convicts Jacob Zuma of contempt of court, sentences him to 15 months in prison. Initially, he gets a crappy prison, but they upgrade him to the new facility at Escort. Oh, that's nice of them. And they give a directive. He must surrender to authorities at Escort by midnight on July 4th. And I always remember that because July 4th is our Independence Day, which ironically Rishi Sunak is poking us in the eye having his election on the July 4th. Footsack, Rishi. go back to the Channel Islands with your ill-gotten gains. I mean, your wealth, sorry. So he had to submit it, turn himself in. If he didn't do that, ladies and gentlemen, the police commissioner, Kumalo, I think it was at the time, and, the cat in the hat, Becky Chile, they were directed by the Constitutional Court to collect his bum and put it in prison by midnight on the 8th of July. So let's roll the clock back. On the 29th of June, 2021, I cautioned you that chaos was coming to KZN. I did say that it was going to probably start around in Kanla and grow from there. And that wasn't accurate, but my projection was correct, unfortunately. So here's what happened. Jacob Zuma didn't turn himself in by July 4th. And that weekend before he was due to turn himself in, he got up on stage with, this miraculous dancing around. I think Carl Niehaus, as we prefer to call him, Carl Nyhorst, was present. Ace Magashule, I think, was also there, if I remember correctly. And they're all dancing and toy-toying up on the stage in Kanla. And then July 4th comes and goes. And then the cat in the hat and the police commissioner don't arrest him. They finally go to Nkanla to try to convince him to turn himself in. And it was at 11:35, maybe it was 11:25, on the 8th of July when his motorcade, like a conquering hero, drove out of Nkanla and went to Escort. But Escort's not 5 minutes away. So he didn't get there till about 2 o'clock in the morning. So that was July 9th. Guess what? Becky Chile and the police commissioner, contempt of the Constitutional Court. No charges. Anyway, so Zuma goes to jail for, 5 minutes or something like that, it seemed. Remember Carl Nyhorst? He went and protested at Escort, got arrested. Do you remember that? Oh, I'll never forget that. That was entertaining. But now he's with the Economic Freedom Fighters, along with Jack Markowitz, their token white boys. That's the crowd there. So anyway, as far as people being privy to things, Sandy, there are people, that was the point of the whole story, there are people in the ANC who are disloyal to the ANC, which is ironic. This is a party that was built on a bedrock of loyalty. I mean, everything's about loyalty to the Thule House. I mean, you can be crooked, you can pilfer, you can misbehave, you can do anything. As long as you're loyal to the Thule House, and you behave yourself in that respect. But this was clearly disloyal. And there are people that remain in the African National Congress who have not revealed themselves yet, who are working actively against Cyril Ramaphosa and his government. Just like the bureaucratic trolls and the members of the Republican Party who actively undermine the presidency of Donald John Trump. All right, so the deputy president will step in when Squirrel gets charged. I don't know about that, Charles. You got a pretty bright horizon there. Sean says we're not free to be enslaved by taxes by parasitic political leeches. Ouch! I'm glad I didn't get elected. Ronell says, good evening. Well, hey, Ronell, how's it going there? How are things in the Vol Triangle? They don't give us the basics. Clean water, hard on crime, laws. Well, we just need law and order. Yes, Kurt's double standards. And we're going back to the talking about Ronald. Okay, Ronell. So just my chat just dumped on me there, folks. Sorry about that. So, Sedge feels back there. Ron in from Bloemfontein. Ron, how's it going? Ronald Funderspol. Nothing moving here. 112 degrees Fahrenheit. Good Lord, folks. That's like 48 degrees or 46 degrees Celsius in Arizona. Charles says, I watched a video on Ronaldo from Sizwe Mpofu Walsh. Oh, that guy. Oh, my God. Talk about, oh, yeah. Look, when this is all said and done, there's going to be some people on social media. There's going to be some media for sure. They're going to be digging in their pockets to pay for some stuff. Marilyn, how's it going there in Northcliffe? Good evening. Pizza Time's back. Ann is here. Helen is at it again. When will she learn to be civil in her communication? I wish Ron Poe's developed some show the door. How is she arrogant, Ann? Are you talking about the letter that went to Fikile Mabulula? Please share with us. Thanks for highlighting that. I didn't see what she was arrogant about. I was busy recording in Hermanus earlier today. Sue says, this is perhaps your last Night Owls broadcast right now. It's been amazing with you in South Africa. Well, thank you so much, Sue. That's very kind of you. Bye, donkey. Merci mille fois. Vielen Dank. Thank you so much. It's been epic. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, for the 142 people currently here with just 68 likes, make sure we get past 69. That's Ronaldo's favorite, not mine. So just so you know, before today, I had produced 109 videos in the less than 1 month I've been here. Oh, wow. 109. 45 live streams, 35 shorts, and 30-something prepared videos, which take a lot of time, analysis, editing, and then posting. Yeah, 109. I did 3 more earlier today. That's 112. This is 113. I'm going to have to do a short tomorrow. I can't leave it on a note of 113. Those who are superstitious would have a cow over that. So, Sean, there you go. Yeah, sugar tax, yeah, capital gains tax. There's so many taxes. Okay, hey, ICE is back. It's been ages, man. Just catching up on the beginning as YouTube again didn't send me a notification. If you need to drop a few things off and false back, you maybe assist. Right now, ICE looks pretty good. I packed bags earlier. I got a head start on that because I'll probably be up chatting late tonight. Maybe with my host we'll hang out and I don't know, maybe I'll have some of that wine after all. But I will finish packing my bags probably in the morning after a good night's sleep. But I am right now doing okay. So I came very light on my bags. And even though I've got every political poster that was hung up in South Africa in my suitcase at the moment, I've got like 5 kgs in one bag and 13 or 12 in the other. So I got 17 kgs out of 46 still available to me. So that's not too bad. So that puts me, 31? So we're working on it. Yeah, there's a lot of content. Don't wonder if it's because of bigger world order government. No, PK, I don't think it's that. I don't think they're that competent. Some people want that, but they're not that competent. But thank you for the offer, Ice. Good to see you again. What else we got here? Southern versus Australia again. Well, you guys in the cricket, man. I'm sorry, I'm just not a cricket fan. Nothing against it. It's just it's like watching paint dry. No, I'm just teasing. I know some people really love cricket. Bring in the All Blacks. Okay, all right. And it's either Afghan. Okay. Pierre says, how long do you... Okay, well, Pierre, I can't answer that question until we see how many parties go into it. Right now, it's diminishing returns. 10 political parties? I mean, seriously, Al Jamal's in this? You really think Al Jamal's going to go to bat and agree with the Democratic Alliance? Look, they don't need those other parties. So those other parties could actually vote against them and they'll be fine. The ANC and the DA have all the votes they need. But you never know. So I can't make any projection on the government of national unity until the cabinet is announced and people stop joining. I mean, people can always join at some point, I imagine, but until that happens, it's kind of hard to predict how long it's going to last. But again, I reserve the right to stick to the analysis I told you for the past couple of years, and especially I've been highlighting for the past 4 months. Think of Italy. So a lot of South Africans just don't understand this coalition government, and I'm an American, so probably going, what do you know about coalition governments? Well, I spent a fair portion of my life living in Europe, living under coalition governments, and I can tell you that they come and go. It takes a vote of no confidence, government's gone. So Italy is a perfect example. Italy, I don't remember exact numbers, like 87 or 78 governments, something like that, post Second World War. Every time you change your hat, it's like your tie. Every time new month you change your hair color. It's the same thing with the Italians. They change their government. So I mean that might be the future for South Africa. I hope not. That's very unstable. And Italy is much more advanced than South Africa. Post-war, Italy was more advanced, even coming out of fascism, than South Africa is today. It's still a relatively new concept to have representative democracy that includes the entire electorate. So we'll see. But Pierre, I don't think it'll last long, but I could be wrong. Just looking at crypto and all the crazy things. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that, PK. Hey, Moritz, how's it going there? James Dupes, Spoken Ronaldo, how's he doing? He's holding up. He's holding up, but he's silent. I'm not bothering the guy, but there are some people reaching out. By the way, if there's a link for a Back a Buddy thing, I can't get to it right now, but if somebody has the link for Back a Buddy, someone started a Back a Buddy to raise funds for a legal defense fund for Ronaldo. If you're inclined to help, it's available. I don't have that link right now, but if somebody has it, they can put it in the chat. It was available in WhatsApp groups earlier today, so if you want to do that, that's your prerogative. I hope Ronaldo makes him pay financially. One of many. Yeah, no, I mean, look, I mean, if all things being equal, if the courts aren't captured, Ronaldo, when this is all over, may be done politically, I don't know, but he's going to be a very wealthy man by the time it's all over. There's a lot of people are going to be bankrupted by their stupid mouths, if it's legitimate, if the courts are legitimate. It's a lot of content, but we love it. Well, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. I hope, by the way, today, I was watching here at my host place on the television, I was watching the videos that I produced today, and we were like astounded. I was too. I mean, this gives a very good mobile phone, very good camera, very good audio system. But it's like watching a movie in the theater. I mean, it was incredible how clear it was from the phone. So thank you, Samsung, and the Korean engineers who designed these phones 4 or 5 years ago. It's an awesome phone. James is given £1.99. Yes, please, definitely will help. Thank you for the update. You're very welcome there, James. If somebody put that link in, I don't have it handy here. Lynette Orr says, good evening. Just curious, can the DA retract their votes for unopposed as president if no agreement with the cabinet? The DA can retract their votes for unopposed at any time. If somebody calls a vote of no confidence, like, for instance, Julius Malema, the DA can take their 87 votes and go with Malema's 39 votes, but that's a very dangerous act to do. You know why? Because the DA will then no longer be part of this government. Obviously, they can't continue. And if the ANC can keep it under 200 votes, which would be possible, then the DA is on the outside. So that's a very dangerous path to tread for the Democratic Alliance. I don't think they'll do that. Look, I think the Democratic Alliance looks at this, it's the devil you know. They know Cyril Ramaphosa. Jean-Henri says, you must be sick of South Africa and can't wait to get back here. No, Jean-Henri, actually, for the first time in the month I've been here, I'm actually catching my breath and smelling the roses, or was it curry I was smelling earlier? And it wasn't roses. I did see some roses, though. It's wintertime. Roses were blooming down here. That kind of caught my attention. I guess what happens in a Mediterranean climate. And, just kind of catching my breath a little bit. I wish I had a few more days to do that. Anyway, it's funny because when I do these trips, people are like, so how's your holiday going? Holiday? Holiday? Good Lord. You have no idea what my schedule looks like. Anyway, but I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. So, actually, that's not true. I did a lot of things I didn't like. I served in the Army, but you just do what you have to. Okay, sorry to answer that question. Hey, Freelance Kate, how's it going? Jean-Marie says it's a raiding country. Enjoy your last night. Hey, Peter, thank you very much. I'll try. Freelance Kate says, did everyone catch Big Daddy Liberty's interview with Helen Zilla? Yeah, Helen still hasn't given me an interview, but she did want Big Daddy Liberty. What did she say? I'm waiting for Ann to respond. Did I miss Ann's response about how she was arrogant? It was a fair question. I wasn't giving Ann a hard time. I said, how was she arrogant? Because I didn't see it. Okay, so are you still going to follow South African politics when you're back home? Jackie Smith, I've been covering South African politics for 40 years, and I've been broadcasting on it for 4 years, 1/10 of that time. Of course I'm going to follow it when I go home. Why would I stop? I mean, Cyril Ramaphosa has ruined my big plan. My plan was to come for the election, stay for the counting, be here long enough for a government to form, and then the cabinet be announced. Everything happened except the cabinet. I mean, I'm just like keeping this in suspense here. It's crazy. Heinz says, got away from me again. Says, I see a lot of videos of First Amendment auditors in America crushing police beyond their limits just to get arrested and sue them. Then I think myself, no, the First Amendment auditors, it's fantastic because so many law enforcement officers don't know the law. It's shocking. And because they don't know the law, they get into bullying a lot of people. Look, I support law enforcement. I'm not saying be opposite. You should always be professional, responsive, and take instructions from law enforcement. But a lot of cops don't know what the hell they're talking about. And they bully people. So I love these First Amendment auditors. They're fantastic. That one guy is the guy from Long Island. That guy's amazing. The guy knows the law. You can't film here. Actually, I can. I'm walking in a public street. You can't loiter here. Actually, I can loiter here. There's no reason why I can't. Yeah, but you can't take pictures of the police vehicles. They're in plain view. If you don't want them to be viewed, then hide them. The First Amendment auditors are brilliant. Some of them are really smart. Ronell says, why do you think all these other parties are joining now? What could be the benefit for them? Well, Ronell, they're probably going to get promised a deputy ministerial post or something like that. The other thing, too, is that they think they'll get a say in government, or maybe they're getting enough parties so they can dump the Democratic Alliance. That's also a possibility. I mean, the Pan-African Congress joined. Al-Jamaa. After Al-Jamaa, the leader of Al-Jamaa got up and said the most vile and racist things at the president swearing in. Did you see that? Not his swearing in, but when the government was sworn in. He got up and said the most vile things. It was horrible. Horrible. I can't believe a person like that's in Parliament. He's not being charged with racism. Called the DA racist with no evidence of it whatsoever. Yeah, and so then he joins a coalition with the DA. Look, a lot of this is just politics, folks. But see, that's the problem. Maybe that's why I can't get elected. Or I didn't get elected. I can't lie to people like that. I'm not going to play the political game and just say this about this party. I mean, if it's not true, I'm not going to say it. For political gain, and that's juvenile. But that's what politics does. Italy had 76 guys. There you go. Yeah, they go. So yeah, so 76, 76, 78. So I was close. See, look at that, man. Boy, I'm not senile yet. That won't be till next month. Anyway, yeah. Need adults in Parliament, not clowns. That's true. Clowns that left me, jokers to the right. Is that how it goes? Anyway, Sean Manish, Brian Lawrence, and the ANC are going to make the DA relevant. They serve their purpose. Very real possibility, but anyway, but you heard it here first. I don't know. Did anyone else tell you about what I came up with today? Brad LaRue, 144 degrees. What? I don't know what that means. James, thank you for the £2 in your first super chat. Appreciate it. Kurtz Verhoeven says hello. And then, here, N says, you want Ronaldo to lose the defamation case and be civilly imprisoned by Caesar for failure to pay the cost. You forget Caesar's father's the best lawyer. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, could somebody please go to the apotheke? I think that's what you said. I forgot apotheke. Go to the pharmacy. There should be an all-night pharmacy. Just go out right now. Get some medication. N is not feeling well. He's clearly under the weather. And I don't know if it's just bad wine or he ate a bad, I don't know, something. But clearly it's affecting his judgment. Dali and Pofu, the best lawyer in the country. Oh my God. Look, N. Look, it's fun to have you here. You do push the envelope, and sometimes we have to spank you, but we're not spanking you tonight because, bad judgment and false claims like this are not, you're not timeout worthy. Dude, Dali and Pofu, the best lawyer in the country, what are you drinking? Is it chibuku? Listen, chibuku is pretty disgusting. I'm sorry, nothing against the cultural tradition of making chibuku, but have you ever had chibuku? Oh man, that stuff's bad. Anyway, but I think that, is it Castle Lager you're drinking? Listen, you should switch to a proper beer. Now, I'm going to offend some of my viewers in South Africa, but I'm sorry, but Castle Lager it's like American beer. It's bottled urine. Oh, did he say that out loud? I did say that out loud. Drink a real beer like Windhoek Lager, brewed by the Reinheitsgebot. Only beers brewed by the Reinheitsgebot are real beer. No, but seriously, Dali and Pofu, the best lawyer. Come on, man. You're just trolling. You couldn't honestly believe that, could you? You couldn't believe that. Come on. Okay, so Ice says, okay, cool. If you're sorted luggage-wise, at least you can do is offer you a cup of coffee. Ice, yeah, so I'm going to do my interview, and then at lunchtime, I'm going to go to this cafe over in Strand. If you're in the group, I'll tell you where it's at. If anybody wants to swing by, it kind of be an informal meet and greet. It's actually a cafe that's owned by Reese Fundervalt's dad. So I'm going to go there tomorrow in Strand before I go up the road. So I'll probably be there around lunchtime tomorrow. So if you want to pop over, Ice, send me a note or jump in the group, and I'll put down where I'm going to be tomorrow. Okay? I can't think of the name right now. It's like Coffee, Cafe, something like that. Charles, if you think Caesar's dad is better, yeah, exactly. You're welcome, Lynette. Well, I'm not sure why you're thanking me. I must have said something. Have you made your own biltong? No, I don't make my own biltong. I just take it back when I go back with me. So, and I run out pretty quickly. and now, thanks to Kali Roo and also Arctic. I mean, I'm freaking hooked on Druvors. I mean, I used to look at that and go, oh man, I'm not eating that stuff. For years, I didn't eat it. Now, it's like crack cocaine, man. If it's good Druvors, man, I eat that stuff up like bubblegum. So, but I haven't had much on this trip. I've just been so busy. Anyway, so. Okay, Tyler says, what do we have to do to get you to stay? Well, Tyler, I'm pretty fond of Land Cruisers, and I prefer a place with 3 or 4 bedrooms. A mountain view is lovely, and and a green card of sorts, leave to remain, or whatever you call it in South Africa. So, and then maybe I'll stay. Verna Kruger says, oh yeah, his math is a little bit off from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Winnie thought Caesar's dad was the best lawyer. Okay. All right. So Lynette says, have you made? Okay, I already got that. And do you have PTSD? Not to my knowledge, PK. And I actually had to talk to a shrink over that for part of my Veterans Administration physical. I had something going on, not mentally, but something going on physically, and they wanted to know if there was a mental cause behind it. They evaluate you for PTSD. Yeah, I was evaluated for it, and according to the shrink, I didn't have it. At least not at the moment she interviewed me. So, Look, I mean, people go through some pretty horrific things. You can get PTSD from a farm attack. You can get PTSD from a traffic accident. It's post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not just simply for veterans. But yeah, but thank you for asking. If anyone has the link, that will be great. Yeah. I don't, where's Hendo at? He usually has it. Theodorus is back. Why did ANC let Panyazi continue his hunting career? Because they love him. They love him. He's got his little, private army out in the streets. I've seen them in Joburg, his private army. Yep, they love him. Hey, there's Ronaldo. And Ronaldo says, lots of love. Thanks for support. You are greatly appreciated. Well, look at that. There you go. Hey, how's it going, man? Ronaldo. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ronaldo goes. Sorry. It's who pronounces G like that? Anyway, welcome, Ronaldo. Please build an e-commerce shop and sell some shirts for travel because you put a lot of time in traveling. I do not want your schedule, and thank you for this. You're welcome, PK. Well, I do have an e-commerce site, but unfortunately they don't ship to South Africa. I tried to set up an e-commerce site in South Africa, but I was going to do it with Ronaldo a few years ago, but Ronaldo sent me like a non-disclosure statement or something like that. I got confused, so I just didn't do it. No, but I haven't found a supplier in South Africa that does everything that I'm okay with. See, in America, I use a couple different services, and all I have to do is design the stuff. They make the shirts based on every order. They process everything. They take a percentage. I get the rest. So you can buy the kit and they've got the Indaba Africa. We've got Chris Wyatt Report shirt. In fact, I have a T-shirt here that I left behind in Northcliffe last time, and it's got my Chris Wyatt Africa logo on it. All right, so please build an e-commerce shop. So Elza Badenhorst, good evening to you. Are you allowed to take biltong to the States? I thought you couldn't. Yeah, yes and no. Unpack the dishwasher now. I'm permitted 1 hour on the... Okay, thank you, Giuseppe. You must have a taskmaster there that's keeping you accountable. Hey, folks, the wind is blowing pretty crazy out here. I think the building's going to blow down. It's like the big bad wolf's outside. I can hear it. Anyway, so down here on the False Bay. Vanna Kruger, not a bad suggestion. The problem is organizing through shipping. Yep. So Ed says, how do you rate that AfriForum lawyer that Malema made fun of in the courtroom? I know you still rate him highly. Okay, if you're talking about Mark Oppenheimer, constitutional attorney, he's not an AfriForum lawyer. Is that who you're talking about? Because Harry Nell is the main AfriForum lawyer that I'm familiar with. But if you're talking about Mark Oppenheimer, he's one of the most brilliant legal minds in this country. Talking about the guy with the long hair? Absolute brilliant guy. And Malema made fun of him. When I'm not even going to comment on Julius Malema. Willem Scott, yes, Ronaldo is in the chat. George is here. Welcome, George. What else we got here? So, Giuseppe, okay, I already been here. The chat jumped on me again, folks. Helen Duplessis, good evening, Helen. How's it going? Are you singing these days, Helen? I haven't chatted with you in a while about that. So, not in WhatsApp group. Are you going to post in the Telegram group? Yeah, I'll put it in the Telegram group, okay? Or if you, contact me on Telegram, ICE. Contact me on Telegram. That way I make sure I get it to you, okay? Yeah, and I'll tell you where it's at, okay? Okay, George says, thanks for keeping me company while washing the dishes. You're welcome, George. Ronaldo has posted a link. Okay, I didn't see Ronaldo posting it. Ronaldo for president says, yeah. Bongi Matabula, welcome. How you doing there? Okay. The interesting thing about all this stuff, folks, we weren't going to talk about Ronaldo tonight, the situation, but listen, the outpouring of support for Ronaldo from black and white South Africans has been, I don't want to say surprising, but somewhat overwhelming. It's been a lot of support for him, a lot of black content creators and in the Twitter sphere, not the fake troll accounts. These are real people that actually, they're coming out in support of him. I mean, the fact that the video was altered, see, again, it's not AI, but it was altered. Ronaldo's preface before he made those comments, again, sorry, but it's poor judgment. You're young, but anyway, he prefaced that, explained what was coming, said it to make a point about how there's a double standard, and then said, this isn't what I believe in. That was removed. The person that did that committed a crime in South Africa under the law because they made it appear to be hate speech and published it. So that's a crime, folks. Anyway, but we'll see what happens. Sean says, respect Ronaldo. We are all backing you. Prayer and thought. Just please don't hire Dolly and Pope. Well, I don't know. Maybe you want to hire Dolly and Pope. Anyway, okay, what else we got here? Tyler says, we miss you, you're loved, and all of us know you'll return stronger than ever. Well, let's hope so, Tyler. I mean, look, this is I don't want to say a mountain out of a molehill, but the fact that people are calling the guy racist, I don't, well, I do get, I understand what's wrong with people, but I've seen the guy. I mean, this isn't the person I've met. This isn't the person I've done collabs and broadcasting with. That's never happened. I never heard any utterance even remotely like that. And I understand why the video was made and what the point was and the time that it occurred. But you know, it's look, people want scalps. And remember, I did the video, this is bigger than Ronaldo. This is about Ronaldo, but it's not about Ronaldo. It came after Ian Cameron. There's no smoke to that fire. Most South Africans dismiss it. Blackface is some stupid thing that hurts people's feelings in America, but South Africans like blackface. What are you talking about? And then there was talk they're going to come after Annelie Lodriet, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. And, you know, the list could go on and on. So it's bigger than that. People are trying to scupper a government. There are forces in this country that don't want governance in the form that the ANC and DA are trying to create. Now, I'm not a fan of the alliance, but it's the best option for South Africa going forward. But I tell you, the more parties get involved in it, the bigger the headache becomes. But there are people trying to stop it. They're really trying to stop it. We got spraying for it. What's this? I don't know what Val's trying to say there. Chris Holmes. Hey, Chris, how's it going there? Crikey, man. What's it like down under? And said, I'll advise Ronaldo to call Malema and learn one or two tricks on being smart accused. By all means, avoid the weak Oppenheimer. What is your problem with Mark Oppenheimer? The dude is a brilliant attorney. I mean, I don't know where you get that from. But as far as advice from Julius Malema, hey, you know, Juju knows how to skirt the law. He really does. He's got a magic, you know, I don't know if he goes to a Sangoma and gets his advice, you know, and gets treatments or something, but clearly Juju is somebody's useful idiot. He's able to get away with all kinds of things that the average South African would, black, white, or brown, would be in jail for. Even this case with him, you know, endangering public safety by firing a firearm with loaded ammunition in the air, and then somebody removing the receiver to try to deceive forensics. I mean, it looks like he's going to get away with it. G. Sawyer's here. Good evening to you. All the honorable members. Ronaldo's sending hearts and thanking folks. And so, listen, folks, I mean, look, okay. So probably one of the hardest things here for Ronaldo here, other than this false accusation and this, and the horrible, I mean, seeing yourself in the press being called these things and then seeing all these hate wankers who don't have the honesty to look at this objectively, you know, call you names and get away with it. I mean, they're committing racist acts and they're getting away with it. That's difficult, and it must be feeling really lonely. But I mean, beyond that, it's got to be frustrating for Ronaldo, who is accustomed to using social media. He can't. He's got to, you know, I'm sure he's probably got attorneys saying, hey, you can't do that right now. So yeah, so I mean, that's got to be frustrating. They turned a fart into a pile. Yes, they did. Okay. Well, a really old fart. There's not even any smell left to it. It's so long ago. What else? Is Garrett here? Garrett was at the meet and greet tonight. We had a meet and greet at the Crystal Beach Hotel at Harbor Island in Gordons Bay tonight. It was epic. It's pretty cool. Although I think I kind of broke the heart of the waiter, the Kellner who served us. I lost the cap to his pen. It fell into the bay. Sorry about that, buddy. It wasn't intentional. Anyway. All right, so as we go, if Ronaldo has a membership with AfriForum, can AfriForum not bring in a big dog? Yeah, I can't speak for AfriForum. I'm not sure. But Harry Nell does. He can come out on his own. I'm not. Look. So here's the thing, folks. Let's talk about. Look, this wasn't a program about Ronaldo, but you guys have brought it up, so let's talk about this, okay? First off, if the courts are not captured, the decision by the South African Human Rights Commission to take Ronaldo to court over this is going to backfire epically. Now, I could be wrong because I'm not Senior von Rensburg or Nostradamus and go, oh, this is what the court is going to determine. But a rational person, an objective person, shown the actual original video, vice the altered video, not AI, but altered, you edit videos, will make the conclusion that there is nothing to this. And then this thing is going to blow up in a lot of people's faces. So the South African Human Rights Commission, by taking Ronaldo to court, is actually likely to wind up publicly exposing what really happened here. And this is going to backfire. So we'll see what happens. But what else? Sean says, if we're going to fast track you on a global agendas, then I don't know what you're talking about there. Helen says, I jumped ahead there. Ronaldo, hang in there. Keep fighting. Good fight. Okay. Must be frustrating not being able to defend him. That's got to be frustrating, Charles. Absolutely. Chris Holmes, like the other Western countries, killing the chickens and attacking other food sources in the name of bird flu. What's it? I don't know if they're killing chickens yet, but they've done it before. Okay. Bell Pottinger on speed dial. And says, goodbye as you return home and good night. It's amazing how whites find it hard to live blacks when we blacks have no problem accepting them. That's actually comical. And you are just, I mean, dude, you're just, it's comical. How do you stereotype 4.8 million people? Or in my case, 238 million people in America? Where do you get this nonsense that whites, I mean, dude, do you have any idea who you're talking to? I grew up in a housing project with 300 families. 297 of them were black. My best friend, his name was Goody. We were friends. What are you talking about? I went to a public school in Buffalo, New York, where everybody was Puerto Rican. I don't know what they're doing in Buffalo. It's freaking cold there. You think you're cold in South Africa. Try living in Buffalo, New York, with that lake effect coming off the lake there. Yeah, anyway, so I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I mean, I spent a third of my adult life living in Africa amongst black people. So, what's your nonsense? It's just utter nonsense. If white and black people can get along, there'd be no colored folks. Or mixed race folks. Dude, you really, okay. You treaded the line tonight, but we'll let it slide. So I'm sure, he looked pretty crushed. I think he was being facetious, but he looked pretty crushed about the pen cap. The hot news on social media is Hawkta Girl. I don't even know what that is, Willem Scott. I guess I've been busy with Hermanus. Garrett Forstenberg says, only South Africa is a criminal called an honorable member. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Talking about Joyce Malema? Eric Borch says, good evening to you, Colonel. With regards to Ronaldo's case, would you believe that it might be wise to keep our views to ourselves till this blows away? Or, yeah, Eric, it's probably, look, it's okay to show your support. Tell Ronaldo you support him. You can, if you want to go to the back of buddy thing and help out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not doing anything wrong. Even if you were guilty, there's nothing wrong with that. He's not. But even if you were, I mean, people are entitled to defense and they're entitled to support. But yeah, as far as what's happening, I mean, it's what I would recommend against is calling anybody a racist without any evidence of it, whether it's Ronaldo or Dali Mpofu or Juju. I mean, you notice I don't call people racist. I talk when people race hustle, because that's an action I can prove. They're race hustling. They're using race to undermine social cohesion. That's provable. So you'll notice you won't find me calling people racist by and large. Certainly not. But anyway, so I would just use caution from that. But I mean, as far as I would look. It's probably not wise to go on Twitter. I'm just saying, okay? Twitter is a toxic location. It's probably not good to go there right now. It's probably never good to go there, but I mean, unless you're looking for breaking news. All right, does that answer the question, Eric? I hope. And Robert says we're on your side. Gotta love the race baiting. When you look at your life, most people don't hate anyone. Exactly. So it's interesting. Where was I at the other day? And I was with someone. And we were having a meet and greet or something like that. And it was the meet and greet at Monte Casino in Johannesburg. So we're sitting there. There goes a white guy with his black wife and 4 mixed race kids. Moments later, here comes an Indian girl with a white boyfriend. After that, I see this Indian girl standing out there with a white guy, and she's besotted with him. She's looking up at him. They're clearly boyfriend and girlfriend, or she wants to be his girlfriend, and just hanging on his every word. I saw so many people of different backgrounds intermixing and together in serious, or maybe not so serious relationships in one spot, all within 10 minutes. And I wasn't even looking for it. We're just sitting there and I'm talking. I'm like, okay, look at this. See this. Yeah. And today, sitting down here, what walks by? but a black woman and a white guy, and they're together. And then I saw earlier today over in Hermanus when I was getting coffee, walking along above the cliffs, a very attractive colored girl, nice cornrows, nice hair done, with a white boyfriend. Most people don't give a flying flip about this garbage. This is stuff stoked by racists and politicians for political gain. And it's reprehensible. It really is. It really is reprehensible. Good evening, Brendan. How's it going? Yeah, it was a high and low. The low was the Bulls, the high was the Bucks. In the future, Judge Dredd, yeah, that's right. I am the law. Dredd? It's the Rob Schneider in that movie when they're the prison transport. I still love that. Ronaldo, keep your chin up. Even the big names like Cus del Rey had major haters. Yeah, that's true. Eric says, thank you, Colonel. Appreciate what you have to say. God bless you. You're very welcome, Eric. Yeah. No, use the link, freelance, and then share the link freely with others if you want. But if you can put it back up, Renault would put up a link so that people are able to find that if you want to help out. Look, it's your prerogative, folks. I'm not pimping or pushing it. I'm just letting you know it's available. If you want to help him, yeah. So I mean, Back of Buddy's a South African thing, so it's not a U.S. thing. So, but yeah. So there you go. Look, listen, being silent. Yeah, Audi does mean listen. That's right. That comes from Latin. Yep. Look, listen, silent, says Sean. And there's the link from Ronell. Okay, let me see if I can't get that thing to come up over here. All right. See, it doesn't do that. I hate. Oh no, it can come up. Okay, cool. On my PC, it never wants to do it, but here, some people just like some cream in their coffee. Oh my goodness. Brendan says, how long can be in South Africa? Oh, about 23 hours. Well, I get backlash if I post on Twitter. What? Post what? The link? Probably on Twitter. Yeah, I'd recommend you just do it in WhatsApp, Telegram groups, and in a place like this. Now you've gone and made me the mood. Neapolitan ice cream. Yeah, I don't like Neapolitan. It's vanilla chocolate ice cream. That's just not my cup of tea. All right, well, the Back a Buddy campaign for Ronaldo was up to 16,000 Rand already, and it just started a few hours ago. So, and yeah, so there you go. So, folks, if you want to help out, and you can do it anonymously. I mean, that's so. I mean, somebody gave anonymously $75 US. That's the biggest. No, there's a 10,000 Rand in here. Wait a second. How can it? 16,000. Okay, I guess that's right. Yeah. So these donations all started about all with this hour. It all started since this program began. So wow, folks, we folks have raised already 16,356 Rand on this Back a Buddy campaign to support Ronaldo's legal costs in this hour while we've been on air. That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, that's better than when Ronaldo. So let me just tell you a story here, okay? And people, I stand for correction. Actually, I'm sitting, but just folks remember the petrol station attendant? I think he worked at the engine station there in Port Elizabeth, Nelson Mandela Bay. Remember that? Ronaldo loved this guy. He was always cheerful, even when things were down. He worked hard. He was very polite and friendly, very professional all the time. And Ronaldo wanted to reward him for his hard work. And so he started a campaign, and Ronaldo raised all that money. And then took that money and gave it to the guy and just made probably his year. So that was pretty incredible. I've never forgotten that. So anyway, that's just one example. So listen, I went to Port Elizabeth, Nelson Mandela Bay, and I met with Byron when I was down there. I had a meet and greet down there. Also met with Ronaldo. And Ronaldo invited me to come out when he and other people in his political party went around the ward and fixed potholes. 2 days before he was off to be sworn as a member of parliament. It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with delivering service for people. So anyway, look, I'm not here defending Ronaldo. I'm just stating facts. You can accept it. You can take it. You can reject it for whatever you want. Just letting you know, folks. I mean, anyway, so, let's get to the truth of the matters here. Menage Qua says, how's it going? Sorry, I'm just now coming on. What's your topic of the day? Well, my topic of the day was the coalition and the lack of a cabinet. That's kind of what we did. But by the way, going forward, I think I'm going to do that. I won't do it every program. When I do the news, I'm going to try to start with a topic that is my monologue for the day. So, I'm going to try to do that. So he's a masochist. He's a masochist. Yes, he is. Anyway. Yeah, so what else did I miss here? That's incredible. People are making, yeah, no, it's 16,500 all within the last hour. So Tabang Letsola, Tabang, is that Tswana or is it Basutu? Tabang says, please also donate to Mama Joy. Mama Joy needs money for the Olympics. Mama needs to go to the Olympics. Okay. Yeah, so thank you for that, Tabang. What's happening in Ukraine? Not a whole lot. It's good. What else? If it's not too off top, what's your take on the Bucks and Bulls game? Actually, Menage a Trois, I'll be in my as a co-host of the Megaphone program tomorrow with MW. MW Velman and I will be talking about those two games, but I'll give you a preview. The Bulls squandered this game, and I can tell you that Jake White is absolutely devastated. He's crushed, disappointed. And there was some questionable decision making in that game late by the Bulls, and it cost them the game. It did. I mean, your championship game, you take the points on offer. 7 minutes left in the game, you got points in front of the post, you take it. Then you come back down, you had multiple points, a yellow card. You didn't even have to go for the try. You could let the clock expire, kick it straight through the post, and win the game 22-21. Very disappointing. Look, I mean, the guys played their hearts out, but, I mean, they should have won that game. They let Glasgow back in the game far too easily, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. The Bucks were not impressive. They had moments of brilliance, impressive. Ronaldo says he's humble. Thank you all. You're very welcome, Ronaldo. PK says it's crazy. I get that he's a good guy, but he made a mistake. He's a good guy. He said a word he should not have. He should have. Yeah, listen, PK. Okay, look, here's the thing. In the South African vernacular, in the context, it's just not something you can say. But the way it was said was in an academic sense. But I don't know. Let's just let that go for now. If you want to help out, there's a Back to Buddy program. The link has already been posted by Ronell, I think it was, or was it somebody else? If you're conservative, why do you support the DA? DA would be considered leftist in America. Well, first off, Joel, where do you get the idea to support the DA? Good Lord, are you new to the program? I'm not attacking you, but folks, I'm on record. I mean, saying I'm not a fan of the Democratic Alliance. It's a left of center political party. I don't like state-owned enterprises. They interfere with private commerce and they cripple jobs. The DA is okay with state-owned enterprise. The DA wants to give larger handouts to people. I understand the reasoning for it, but I don't agree with it. So I'm not a fan of the DA. Where do you get that conclusion? That's like the people the other saying, well, you're defending Ronaldo. I wasn't defending Ronaldo. I was simply giving a plausible explanation before I'd even seen the video, the original. Then I saw the video and I proved I was right in my analysis. No, I'm not a fan. Look, there's some incredible people in the Democratic Alliance. Andrew Whitfield, Retief Odendahl. You could probably throw Ronaldo in there as a counselor. We won't know how he'll do as a member of parliament until this nonsense is sorted out, but as a counselor. Then you've also got Siliers Brink, brilliant guy. Chris Pappas, a brilliant guy. These are really smart people. I met Jordan Hill Lewis the other day at James Self's memorial service. I didn't have a chance to talk to him, but briefly, he seems like a pretty smart oak. There are some very smart people in that party, but the party is left of center. So I don't know where you get the conclusion that I support the DA. I've said on this program, I've been asked this many times, if you were South African, how would you vote in this election? And I said, for me, there's only a couple parties that actually fall center-right, which I would consider voting for. I read, and I hate this communist term manifesto, but I read the manifesto for these parties, and the two that would get my attention would have been ACDP and the Freedom Front Plus. They would have got my attention. How I would have voted if I was South African, I would have had to make a decision. But, I mean, no, I probably wouldn't have voted DA if I was a South African. I don't support them, Joe. I don't know where you got that from, man. Where do you get that conclusion from? Thank you for asking, though. Helen Zilla, our true national treasure, says Anthony Fombad. That's an interesting name. Brandon says, hopefully you enjoyed your time so that I can get your fill of Biltong. I didn't get much Biltong. I got posters and I got plenty of energy. Man, I've been, my bladder warning light is constantly on for bringing all this energy. My bad, thanks. No, Joel, no reason to apologize. I'm just asking. See, people make inferences, and maybe Joel, you made an inference based on the fact that I'm being honest here about Ronaldo. I wouldn't call it a defense, but to be honest, but maybe people assume a lot of things. But again, it's kind of like, it's interesting because let me just clarify this very quickly too. So when I interviewed Neil De Beer last year, January, February last year, and then I went to his launch of his political campaign for the UIM for this election this year in February last year at Tigerberg, some people associated with the Sightlanders took great offense to that. They're like, well, what the hell is this? Chris is betraying. What is this? What is it? He's in bed with the enemy. No, dude, I'm a journalist. I know that hurts some people's feelings, but listen, I mean, how many credentials do I have to provide? I'm an independent journalist. I've been credentialed with the CPAC convention. I've been credentialed with 6 Major League Rugby franchises in America, with the Bulls franchise here, with the government of South Africa, and I went to the BRICS convention, with the multi-party charter, all these places. That's just scratching the surface of the place I've been accredited as a journalist. So, I mean, it really hurts people's feelings because they see me on YouTube that, well, you're not a journalist. You know what? Get over yourself. You didn't go to a university for journalism. Yeah, I'm an intelligence analyst, and I'm a published author, and I'm an academic, and I'm a journalist. So, you know, people just need to get over their hate wanking and move on. But, you know, the thing is that I mean, that's just a reality. So, we'll not be back on YouTube again one day. I already missed his videos. Big fan and of you. Well, thank you for that, Nima, and I'm glad you're nobody. I'm glad you're a fan of mine. I'm sure Ronaldo will be back at some point, regardless of what the outcome of all these machinations is. But yeah, so, all right, Jackie Rice says Neiman 100%, okay. G-Sword, no matter what they say about Ronaldo, we see his heart of service. Yeah, they only attack people who have, exactly right, G-Sword. Isn't that funny, how they attack people they deem a threat? All right, and they as people are attacking them, so don't people read in that. Tyler says, Chris, which Southern party is the most similar to the Republican Party? Well, the Republican Party isn't the Republican Party. Let's just be honest about that. Republican Party is full of rhinos. Republicans in name only. They need to be extinct. They need to be more scarce than the white rhino or the black rhino. They need to be yesterday's fish and thrown out because they smell. Rhinos are a danger to our society, much like most Democrats. Only a handful of patriotic ones there. So I don't know that any party in South Africa is akin to the Republicans. Richard Lemmer, good evening to you. And the P cases, I agree, the government never has your best interest. They're always saying, yep. Okay, so Vaughn ZA says, guys, do you think Gino talks will come out as positive with the other parties coming to get the DA out? Look, I don't know that they're coming for that. I looked at the tea leaves, senior from Rendsburg, look at the tea leaves, and I looked at them and said, hey, look, here's a possibility. So I don't know that the parties are trying to get the DA out. I know that the EFF and MK don't want them there. Al-Jamaa say they didn't want them there. Who else? Even a couple parties are in this said they didn't want them there, but they're part of it. So I don't know they're trying to do it. Dylan says, sorry I missed out on your holy relic of biltong, only eat bland rhubarb. No, I did eat some biltong. It's between the battle between the real Masakinas and the real. That's funny. Wendy Combrick's back. Wendy's been a while. Rhino Razor, hey Chris, thanks for visiting South Africa. I hope the plane has a trailer on it. We have a cabinet. You have a cabinet before you come back in. Oh yeah, there'll be a cabinet before I come back in. Casper Fund of Estivus says good evening. Menage a Trois says, not going to school for journalism is a feather in your cap. I wish I could have studied something else and upgrade besides communications. Yeah. Eric Bush, oh, nice one, Ronaldo. People behind you. Pierre says, Chris, thank you for your visit and love for our country. Really appreciate your tireless work and coverage. Thank you. Well, folks, tell people you know about my program. Please do that. I mean, I've discovered there are tens of thousands of South Africans that don't log into YouTube, and that's their prerogative. I'm not trying to say that. But if you do use your account on YouTube and let people know about my program, I mean, I'm getting more views, but I'm not getting credit for it than many of these people that are covering South Africa that are here domestically. And it's frustrating. But you know what? It's okay. And I know people watching stuff because ad revenue is way up this month for South Africa. But let people know about the program. I mean, most people who are objective watch my program and they find it interesting. They may not like me, and that's fine. That's your prerogative. You're okay to be wrong. I mean, no, but most people watch it, and it's an outside perspective. I'm not South African. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't own property here. I don't have, secret border my sea girlfriends. So I don't really have anything in this other than my love for the truth and to get people to think critically. And that's important to me. The world has gone sideways. Why? Because we've dumbed down education, and many people don't, a majority of people don't think critically anymore. I want people to think critically. I appreciate if you tell people about the program, and I do that every time I'm here. Every time I go somewhere, I strike up conversations and I gain a few subscribers here and there. But please let people know about it, folks. Anyway, says, all right, so Stefan says, when you had a chat with someone that speaks with clarity and common sense, give Colonel alike at least. Never BS out of his mouth, non-biased, and best of all, he supports the Stormers. Well, thank you, Stefan. Yes, and I'm a Stormers supporter big time. And by the way, I picked up a new Province jersey because the one I have is like 20 years old, 15 years old. I got a more current Province jersey for the Curry Cup. But thank you for that. And that's why I get targeted. That's why I get targeted, because I'm a threat. And it was the same thing in my election campaign. I was targeted. My yard signs were stolen. 1,200, about 20,000 rand worth of yard signs were stolen by criminals, and I can't say who it was, but I'm pretty sure I know who it was. And why I was targeted by one of the candidates in the race, and there was no reason to target me. I came in fourth in a 5-man race, so that's nothing to crow about. But clearly, I was the threat because I was the one being targeted. It was actually kind of sad and pathetic that they did that. Valor says either they're working to get DA out or hot full. Yep. Garrett Furstenberg says, Curl, you are entitled to your opinion. You don't owe anybody an explanation for your opinion if they don't like it. Yeah, well, there you go. Thank you for that cut. People are not one-dimensional beings. We all have various shades of white, black, and gray. Ooh, folks, you're going to make me break into an ebony and ivory here, you know. I'm close to breaking into ebony and ivory. Ebony and ivory live together. I know I can't sing, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. Anyway, perfect harmony. So we be covering USA elections. Oh yes, Vanna Kruger. I will be covering USA elections, and also on my original channel that was censored by YouTube illegitimately and removed for 2 years before I, on the third appeal, got my channel back. And that channel still has over 20,000 subscribers. That channel will be where most of the U.S. content will go. So you're gonna have to subscribe to the old channel if you want that content, and you want to hear what's going on with the Trumpmeister. So Tyler says, I was talking about your channel to a bunch of people, and they were like, oh yeah, I know him. See? Thank you, Tyler. Exactly that. Colonel Sanders, that's too funny, though. Usually it's Father Christmas, yeah. You know, when I was in France for the World Cup, little kids all the time, and they go, Mama, Père Noël, which means Father Christmas. So funny. By the way, folks, the beard's going. I'm shaving the beard off next week. It's gone. It's gone. I'm done. The beard's done. I've had my fun with it. It's been my trademark. You'll have to recognize me as dead sexy without the beard. Otherwise. What else we got here? In the U.S., there's a dam that's collapsing, and they're asking people to evacuate. I didn't see that, George. Thanks for sharing that. You say things are logical, and that's why you're the target. Exactly, and I tell the truth. And my analysis is pretty good, too. What's your take on the riots in Kenya and Ruto butting up with Biden? Ruto's looking for support. Kenya needs U.S. support, quite frankly. But the riots in Kenya are a mess. And I've talked about that before, but I'm not prepared to talk about it tonight because I don't know if anything new's developed. But yeah, it's unfortunate. So Vanner's looking for the link. You talk about for the back of Buddy. Can we get the back of Buddy link again? How's the secret agent man? Is he still on holiday? Leovin used her 35-month super chat saying, thank you again, Kirk. It was amazing meeting you again. Look forward to the next one. And safe travels. Yeah, so Leovin Janssen van Rensburg. How is Bram Janssen van Rensburg? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chris Janssen van Rensburg. No, just kidding. But good to see you. Ron Burgundy. We all know people are the same wherever you go. There's good and bad in everyone. Thank you, G. Sawyer. Yeah, that's exactly right. Don't believe the beard will be gone. Freelance Kate, you've called me out on that. Yeah, you're probably right. Val says the beard's going. She's excited. Oh, the link for the old channel. Where the hell is Hendo tonight? Okay, so I'm going to have to get that link. I'll do it real quick. So actually, you're going to want to do YouTube, and you want to do at Real Chris Wyatt. Okay, so I'll get you that link as soon as it loads up. I wonder if I'm under 20,000 subscribers now because they keep messing with me. Yeah, 20,100. By the way, it says 820 videos. That's not true. There are over 2,000 videos on the channel, but I've hidden them because they were being attacked and I didn't want to deal with that anymore. So here's the link for the original channel. So yeah, please, I took a page out of the Trumpster's book because he uses @RealDonaldTrump. So when I was sent into the abyss, the gulag for that couple of years, my channel was stolen from me by Susan Wojcicki, stroker, brain dead, former CEO of YouTube. When she was there, when I came back on, that's when they started allowing you to pick your plain username. That's why this is @Colonel Chris Wyatt. I picked that. And I wanted to use at Chris Wyatt, but there's another Chris Wyatt who took it while I was off in the gulag. So I had to go with something different. So I came up with Real Chris Wyatt. It's, the original one is called Real Chris Wyatt. So And you got the link. It's there. So please feel free to go subscribe to that. It's going to be weird to see without the beard, says Ants. The beard is the secret power of the secret agent man. Secret agent man. Helen says, go for a boca. Don't snip all the beard. Okay. Thank you there, Helen. I do, and I share links all over. Thanks for being so straightforward and say what you mean. Lastly, explain and keep, what's that? South African's forum, most likely the best place to be. Stay here informed. Well, thank you so much for those kind words, Casper. Marilyn says, it's going to be strange to see without your signature beard. The YouTube gulag. That's where I was, folks. I mean, let's roll back the clock, okay, to 2 years ago, April 2021. Now, this is when it dawned on me, because I was just doing YouTube to promote my consultancy, and then it kind of took a life of its own, and we had huge audiences. I mean, we had 5,700 people live stream watching me at Senecal too. It was incredible. We picked up 2,500 subscribers in a single stream, but I was getting attacked all the time after that by the hate wankers and YouTube's regime of censorship, and they kept trying to take my videos down. I kept fighting them and winning and winning and winning. But remember the Cape Town fires. The Cape Town fires were in April of 2021. I'll remember because I covered those fires live for hours when no South African media outlet was covering what was happening. Remember, Paulie was on the ground down there, and then I got that DA counselor who was in the ward where the fires were taking place, and we covered these stories, and I did it. And it was after that coverage that I said, you know what? This is journalism. This isn't some dude on YouTube who's just making funny videos or dancing with cats or something. This is actual journalism. And I had to start taking credit for it. I mean, after all, I am an academic. I have done strategic communications. I am a radio presenter. So it was journalism. And so that's when it dawned on me that, hey, this stuff is actually journalism. You know, start behaving as a journalist. But we still have fun. You know, we do the Secret Agent Man song now and then. Has anyone thought you are KFC? No, never happened. But Father Christmas, I get all the time. Okay, sweet. Subscribe. We'll definitely want to keep tabs. Yeah, Werner, understand that I'm not putting much content on that lately. I'll try to start putting more content on it, but I wasn't getting any love. People weren't subscribing. What are your thoughts on Trump and Biden debate coming out? I think that if the rules aren't rigged, Biden will be embarrassed beyond belief. I don't think there's enough amphetamines to keep him solidly awake for an hour. He's going to look 10 years younger without it, says Paul. Yeah. Danke subscribe. Thank you, Jürgen Rutz. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, the gulag, that's what it was. YouTube gulag. So when YouTube took my channel away after, I was actually, pride is probably a sin, right? But I was kind of proud of the work I did on that and the coverage I did on that Cape Town fires. And then my channel went poof a couple days later. Just gone. Anna Marie Nell, who's disappeared entirely on the channel, she's the one who wrote to me on WhatsApp. She said, Chris, where's your channel at? I woke up in the morning and my channel was gone. And I went and my channel's removed, and I appealed it, and they told me to get stuffed, foot sec. Anyway, and then 6 months later, I appealed it, and they said, get stuffed, foot sec. It's been too long. And then 2 years later, I got it back. But when that went off, I just disappeared. People didn't know where to find me because they only watched me on YouTube, and I had 23,000 subscribers, and it was a struggle to get more subscribers. But we've broken through that mess. But I really like to get back over 20,000. If I had never been harassed by the censorship regime, which is largely gone at YouTube, it's still there, but it's not like it was. We would have had 100,000 subscribers in 2021. No doubt about it, folks. Anyway, but we're a long way from that these days. Some people don't use critical thought. Some, especially in social media, like to put division between people. Media doesn't. Yep, government doesn't. Jeffrey Thomas said, I sweet, go for a number one with a mustache. Okay. Mayor Paulie's like he needs to get rid of the beard. Yeah. Johnny Clegg's songs will bring a lot of good memories to the beautiful country. Wishing you a safe trip home. Thank you, Lynette. Yeah, Johnny Clegg. By the way, his bass player was Trevor Dongenet, right? So, what's this? Eric says, yes, Colonel, I agree. It will be good to get Ronaldo back on YouTube. In a laughing manner, I'd like to ask him to keep quiet. I know he hates it when people say that to him. When the beard comes off, I hope you do live stream. I'm not going to live stream that. Beard going. Thank goodness. I have a pic with Chris and the beard already. Says Rita. Ronell says, the first presidential debate between Trump and Biden is on Thursday. Sure. Well, then I guess I'll be covering that Thursday after I get home. And I'll probably do it on the other channel. So what else we got here? Even if you don't do videos, some live discussion would be awesome. I mean, yeah, no, Verna. I do live streams on that channel occasionally. I was actually doing the Night Owls exclusively on the old channel for a bit there, but I was getting just a handful of views. So Maybe go for the book bard, okay. I feel like he's abused. Yeah, Biden's definitely abused. Marilyn says, my grandchildren love the Santa. Yeah, and I didn't get to see them this time. I was bummed out. Although I did get to see Erica's grandkids. Where's Erica tonight? Sean says, yep, and they caught the two guys and got released in something like caused serious damage. Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay, leave the mustache handlebars. Yeah, Biden's always confused, man. That's not going to change. Anyway, let me just run through a couple things here very quickly. So we got that story covered. And then the ANC slams outlandish and outrageous demands as the government national unity cabinet announcement approaches. ANC said Ramaphosa will announce his cabinet in the coming days. My goodness. No, I'm not going through Europe. I'm going direct from Cape Town. So back to the land of milk and honey, the United States. Yep. Negotiating through leaking demands to the media is an act of bad faith, and this practice will not help the cause of any party. The people need a government to be established sooner rather than later. 100%, 100%, the ANC is correct. Leaking your negotiations with the media is wrong, and people keep spilling the beans to IOL, among others. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Let's say that it follows demands and a detailed and a leaked letter. Yeah, so why do people leak the letter from Helen's Hill? That's inappropriate. This is why, I always get a kick out of people like, well, government has to be honest, has to tell about people everything. No, you have to have privacy in negotiations. Otherwise, you're negotiating from a position of weakness and you never accomplish anything, folks. It's crazy. All right, so the province in South Africa on the verge of having more people unemployed than working. Anybody want to guess which province that is? Anybody want to guess? Eastern Cape. Big surprise, not. And what's the best performing province with the lowest unemployment, which is still a shocking 26.1% or 21.4%? It's the Western Cape. But Eastern Cape has 46. And the expanded version, that's the official expanded, the full, it's 49.1% of the population is unemployed. Yep. So that's crazy. It's absolutely crazy stuff there, folks. I have to give it to Make-A-Wish. Can be, but what's this? Get your code words ready for your election discussions. We don't need your channel moved. Yeah, well, that's why I'm doing it on the old channel and not on this channel. Yep. Tabang says, Ronaldo, Parma's career 2024 to 24. May we rest in peace. Well, Tabang, that's a bold prediction on your part when you don't know what the outcome of things are, but political parties are cowardly, so we never know. Why are you laughing, Taman? I didn't even refute what you said. So let me get back to that campaign. Let me see if anything's happened here. So 10 donors earlier. If anybody else donated, I'm just curious. Yep, 12 donors now. 17,356 rand. Okay. 7 o'clock adulting. Adulting is hard, Ellis. I'm going to hit the bed here in a little bit, but I'm going to wrap up here shortly. Most of them are the young. What's this? Robert says he hears the IOL is corrupt. Well, lots of people say that, but what I can tell you is the IOL came out the other day very angry, and they said that they've been threatened. They said their journalists have been threatened, the owner has been threatened, yada, yada, yada. And listen, I said very clearly, anybody that threatens the media for coverage is committing a criminal act. So stop it, stop it, stop it. However, methinks the IOL doth protest too much, claiming their journalistic integrity is at risk. Really? Journalistic integrity? I mean, what kind of editors do you have? You run a story about Ronaldo on an altered video and you call him a racist? And you don't tell people there's an original version of the video, but you did your due diligence, what you claim. And then on top of that, simple, easily checkable facts. Ronaldo holds with 107,000 subscribers. No. 128,000, 127,000, something like that. Just a little bit off there. I mean, it's a minor point, but the point is that's you don't have to be in the know. You don't have to know the people involved. You don't have to know the heart of the man. You don't have to know any of that to get that fact correct. That's a simple thing. Simple thing. The cabinet is super important, and it'll be done right, so patience is required. Yeah, Jeffrey, that's true. Looking forward to your American election discussion. Thank you, Brad, who has degrees and are working as cleaners. I don't know. Mike says, my friends had a heart attack this weekend. I told them that South Africa's GDP would only placed 21st when compared to GDP in the 50 states, USA. South Africa's unemployment figure still blows my mind. Yeah, no, South Africa's economy is not that big. Not that big. So Pennsylvania is just amazing. Chris is off to work. Of course, he's in Australia, so that's I didn't check the time in Australia. So anyway, all right. Any last comments or questions? By the way, folks, if you want to do that, that link has been shared for the campaign for Ronaldo. If you want to help him out, although they cut his head off, not the best photo. Half of Ronaldo's head's missing. At least on my screen, half of it's missing. But I don't think you need his head, his image of his head there to donate. But 12 people have donated, and 12 people are already up to 17,356 rand, all raised while we were on air with this program tonight. So congratulations, and the folks who do that. This is the society that proves no matter what you know, no one can pay for your skills, and you will work as a cleaner to make ends meet. All right? Okay? Huh. South Africans are tired. What? Paulie says Rossi announces Bucks squad for Ireland and Portugal tomorrow when the Bucks arrive. Okay. I heard that their flight was canceled. Yeah. Do you think DA will revoke Ronaldo's membership? Michael Holmes, I don't know. I don't know if the DA will stand up and do what's forthright. And I presume that the investigation will prove that what my supposition was, and that should be the end of it. And Ronaldo says, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's greatly appreciated. Well, there you go, folks. Yeah, so I don't know what the DA will do. I can't read the tea leaves. I've never interviewed Helen. Unlike Big Daddy Liberty, I've never had an interview with Helen Zilla. So I can't give you, where she's coming from there. So anyway, I've interviewed John Steenhuisen briefly at the Multi-Party Charter. I think I pissed him off, but not because of my questions. But I've interviewed Whitfield and Celia's Brink and Chris Pappas multiple times, and Retief Odendahl, so a number of DA folks, plus a couple members of Parliament from Gauteng a couple years ago. So but I don't know what the DA will do. Hopefully they'll do a thorough investigation, and we'll see what happens, and we'll find out. But anyway, you sent me a message. I'll see you tomorrow, Ice. Thank you for that around lunchtime. So looking forward to that. And G. Sora says, Awe Masakint, you will overcome. There you go. So should we close the show with, you don't even know me? No. All right. So, folks, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks so much for watching the program tonight. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done it. Got a little bit of super chat money here, but if you want to save your powder and send and hoy that those rand on a back of Buddy, the link was just put in there a few moments ago if you want to go do that. Again, this is not support. It's also not attacking Ronaldo. Simply providing information to people. You use the information as you choose, and you decide what you want to decide for yourself. Ben says, have a good trip back. I'm thinking it's a good trip. Perhaps next trip out, bring Candace Owens and Larry Elder. Yeah, I would love to do something with Larry Elder. Candace Owens, not so much. I'd do it if I was given the opportunity, but it's not high on my radar. But Larry Elder, the black face of white supremacy. How can you not want to interview Larry Elder, the black face of white supremacy? That's actually the Los Angeles Times actually had the audacity to write that. Talk about racist. Anyway, all right, sleep tight, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Please go back and watch my videos from today. I think they're pretty good. You guys give me a thought. They were all done off the cuff, using my thoughts, and what I knew, and there you go. So Vanna says, see you for the debate. Okay, all right. Good night, everybody. Take care. Cheers. God bless.